Hi again. I'm not really sure what happened here. I seem to have an okay internet connection for what I can see on my end, but it paused me. So sorry about that if I lost you. I'm back talking about women's hormones mostly, and then I will be talking about some men's hormones. So to continue on, we're going to move on to the thyroid, which is like a butterfly-shaped gland that's in the front of our neck, and it's controlled by the pituitary gland, and it regulates metabolism, adrenal and sex hormones, iodine absorption, and it also, we know that the thyroid can be either overactive or underactive. So when we have an overactive thyroid, it's called hyperthyroid, and it's also called Graves' disease. And it's an autoimmune disease. And symptoms of having an overactive thyroid are anxiety and restlessness, insomnia, premature gray hair, sometimes diabetes, arthritis, and vitiligo, which is like a loss of skin pigment. So these are just possible things. And, again, don't be too alarmed or self-diagnosing, but it is helpful to hear sometimes what different organs, if they're out of balance, what symptoms you might be having. And then hypothyroid, which I think is more common, it's called Hashimoto's, and it's also an autoimmune disease. And that's if there's too little thyroid hormone, so it's underactive. And it's usually accompanied by like hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. And so symptoms of hypothyroidism are fatigue, yeast infections, lack of energy, reduced immune function, like you just get sick more infections, low sex hormones, you're more sensitive to cold, have a lower appetite, you feel sluggish, muscle cramps, depression, coarse hair and also hair loss, and then dry, rough, pale skin, constipation, and abnormal menstrual cycle. So often hypothyroid can be connected with low iodine, like iodine deficiency, and that can actually be caused by fluoride and chlorine in our water, which can block iodine absorption. Like you can really go down some rabbit holes here, but so some people choose to not use fluoride in their dental work, or that's why we use like the toothpaste from Young Living doesn't have any fluoride in it because it can have a negative effect on many things in our bodies. Then there's the parathyroid, which are these little glands. They're like 4 tiny little glands located in your neck that control the body's calcium levels. And when the parathyroid glands are like normal, they are a thermostat. Like they keep like your blood calcium levels very tightly, like in this controlled range. And a proper calcium balance is really important for your heart and your nervous system and your kidneys and your bones. Then there's adrenal glands. A lot of us have heard about adrenal glands, adrenal fatigue. They sit on top of your kidneys. So if you like put your hands around your lower back, above your hip bones, kind of in between your rib cage and your hip bones, those are where your adrenals sit. And they like maintain and boost energy for your body. And they produce hormones that affect metabolism, mineral balance, and our fight or flight response. So adrenal insufficiency is called Addison's disease. And the symptoms of that are like extreme fatigue, weight loss, decreased appetite, and darkening of your skin. So you can get hyperpigmentation. And adrenal glands of someone who like lives a really stressful life that are constantly secreting cortisol to deal with that stress. It actually starts to, that cortisol, which I believe I'm explaining this properly, it basically takes protein from your body and converts it to like glucose really quickly. And so if you're always stressed and your body's always in this fight or flight mode producing all this cortisol, it starts to really wear down like your muscles and your bones, and it depresses the immune system further. And so any type of like, if you've been under high stress for a prolonged time, your adrenals are probably needing some extra support. So anyone who's like a mom or running a business, you might have had some adrenal fatigue, different levels and degrees, obviously, but that requires a lot of minerals and B vitamins to kind of rebuild, and of course making some lifestyle changes so that you're not in that constant state of stress. But luckily we have wonderful products like Mineral Essence and Super B that can be really helpful for adrenal support, and I'll get into more products in it a bit. So the pancreas, the digestive system is actually really closely related with a lot of our hormones. Like, we wouldn't think that our digestive system would be so closely connected, but it is. And oftentimes when someone is having trouble getting pregnant, they could potentially do like a liver cleanse and a colon cleanse. And I actually have some wonderful books to share with you at the end. But in some of the books that I have that are about like essential oils and Young Living products, different practitioners that use the products and help people have said like a liver cleanse and a colon cleanse and getting on the right oils and supplements can often help people get pregnant. So sometimes your body is just off and it needs to balance out different systems in order for the whole thing to work properly, so it can affect your hormones. So the pancreas is like this long flat gland that is located on the left side of your abdomen. And so it is part of the digestive system, but it controls blood sugar. And so, and also a toxic liver can cause inflammation of the pancreas. So everything is interconnected. We have to like figure out how to treat our bodies really kindly in order for everything to work properly and support us. So symptoms of a stressed out pancreas can be pain or discomfort on the left side of your ribs, basically not being able to go back to sleep. If you get headachy and shaky or lightheaded if you skip a meal, craving sweets, binge eating, like uncontrolled eating, like excessive appetite, like you're not able to be satiated, and then fatigue that's relieved by eating, feeling hungry between meals, or frequent thirst or urination could all be pancreas, like a stressed out pancreas. So then we have estrogen and progesterone, like part of our reproductive system, and we have the ovaries and the uterus, and, you know, female sex organs, which provide like the estrogen and progesterone, depending on the age and the time of month and where we are in our cycle. They go through different like level changes. And so if you ever go to a functional medicine doctor or naturopath, they will have different ways of checking your levels of your hormones, and it's pretty intensive. You know, there's like urine tests and there's blood tests and there's all these different ways they can figure it out. But most women have an excess of estrogen and a deficiency of progesterone. So there's a couple reasons for that. Like in the beginning, I mentioned that a lot of things in our environment, like toxins, are actually called xenoestrogens. And so in our body, there's different receptor sites where like estrogen is supposed to like attach. And these xenoestrogens, which are like chemicals and toxins and microplastics and all these things in our environment, are coming and taking the spot where the estrogen is supposed to go. So it's causing this huge disruption in our systems. And so that's why we want to kind of pay attention to cleaner food and getting toxic chemicals out of our homes and all of that stuff. But we typically have, most people, women have less progesterone and too much estrogen. So it throws off that balance, and then it has an effect on a lot of different things. But progesterone works in partnership with estrogen to kind of regulate our menstrual cycles. It's important for maintaining pregnancy, right? Having the right level of progesterone. It stimulates bone building cells. It has antidepressant and calming effects on the brain. It helps regulate blood sugar, protects nerves, and it's used by the body to produce other hormones. And we know we have Progessence Plus. Drop a heart in the comments if any of you use Progessence Plus. And I think this would be a great place to share any stories with any products that you've used to help you with your hormones. So if you have like a great story to share about any of the Young Living oils or supplements, or just sharing what you take so people can see like, oh, look at all the people that are using Progessence Plus. I always think that's helpful. So there are lots of things that women deal with throughout their lives, like our periods. We have, fertility, we have menopause, we have perimenopause. We kind of talked about these different times in our life where hormones are changing. So perimenopause is the time when like a woman's body is preparing for menopause. So hormone production just begins to slow down when women like reach their 30s, and it just continues to diminish with age. And so some or all of these symptoms can be experienced. So anxiety, dry skin, fatigue, bloating, headaches, heart palpitations, hot flashes, insomnia, irritability, decreased interest in sex, loss of concentration, mood swings, night sweats, reduced stamina, urinary incontinence, vaginal dryness, and weight gain. So yay for women in perimenopause. It's but we can navigate this more gracefully, with grace and ease, when we are doing our best to support our body in as many ways as we can. So that's why I'm sharing today, because even though that's like what's supposed to happen to us, doesn't mean we all have to have all that stuff. But I do find a little bit of comfort in reading through some symptoms like that, because then I'm like, oh, there's like a reason for it. Because if you wake up in the middle of the night with heart palpitations, I don't know about you, but I'm like, I'm dying. Like, I need to go to the hospital. I have a heart problem. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying don't go to the doctor if you were having heart palpitations. Like, you might have something wrong with your heart. I don't know. But I have definitely gone in before and been like, check my heart, like something's wrong. And they're like, you're fine, And so then when I read this, I'm like, oh, I'm at the age of someone in, like, we maybe are at the age of someone in perimenopause. Like, that could be a reason. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that. So menopause, by this stage, most acute like problems and symptoms have decreased, and a new hormone balance is established. And that time frame is different for everybody. But if women are lacking estrogen, they can, kind of be vulnerable to health problems such as cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, uterine and breast cancer, depression, and vaginal atrophy. So, we want to make sure that we are supporting our bodies and in the most natural way, just to see if we can kind of decrease this. And there is hormone therapy, and, different people have different experiences. Some women swear by it and they think it's great. There are some risks involved with doing hormone therapy. And so some people choose more natural ways to go about it. No judgment. However you get through perimenopause and menopause is your choice. There is some dangers with the synthetic hormones, though, and some precautions with that. So some people kind of want to weigh their options before they jump into that. But you could also still do that and continue to do the natural stuff too. So lifestyle stuff and oils and supplements. So a couple things that are really important is maintaining a balanced diet. So outside of using oils and supplements, it's important that we are eating healthy, and that means something different to everyone. I mean, diet and nutrition, I guess I would say, is just a very polarized topic, and you can find information that supports whatever you believe. For a while, when I was in my 20s, I thought that eating a diet of all raw food was like the ultimate goal. That's not healthy for everyone at every stage of their life. It's healthy for some people and it works for some people. Then the opposite end of the spectrum are people that choose to eat all meat. You know what I mean? Like, you can find like all the different diets and all the different things. You will find information that supports it, and you'll find information that bashes it. So if we break it down to real simple, like what is healthy nutrition, I believe that it's whole food, right? So it's less processed and packaged food, whole fruits and vegetables, whole grains, organic meats, organic dairy products, wherever you're getting your food, you want to make sure that you know where it's coming from and that it's had the least amount of stuff kind of done to it, right? We don't want our fruits and vegetables sprayed with chemicals. So I buy primarily organic, and then, buying things that are local to where you live is also a great way to support your body, and eating in the season. So other than that, there's going to be so many variations of what a healthy diet looks like, but I think we could all agree that eating like an excessive amount of junk food, or fried food or artificial, colors, flavors, all that stuff is not good for us. Doesn't mean we can't ever have it, but it's probably, if we're working on our health, we're cutting those things out. So I think a balanced diet is super important. Also, on the subject of nutrition or diet, I believe that everyone's constitution is different. And so what works for me might not work for you. Like for some people, it's really beneficial to eat a lot of more raw food and things that are uncooked. And for other people, everything should be cooked and warm for their body to thrive. So there's no one size fits all. And you can find out more about your constitution and your makeup by going to different natural practitioners, people that practice Eastern philosophies and things like that. I just think knowing what your body needs is better than just a blanket, like everybody should eat this, everybody should drink this. It's not. Like some people do much better on something that sounds healthy for, I don't know. Anyway, I can talk about that more. But next is exercise. Really important to move your body. We know that that's something that's really helpful for minimizing stress and also just our mental health. And there's so many benefits to exercise, and that can look like going for a walk every day. That could look like doing some kind of like weight training. I'm not saying push yourself or do anything that feels strenuous for your body, especially if you're someone who's dealing with some of those depleted like thyroid stuff or adrenal stuff where you don't have energy. You might not be able to do much exercise, but moving your body, maybe it's 15 minutes of gentle yoga or something. Just moving your body is like, we know that's really important. And then I love meditation or prayer, like anytime that you are sitting still and closing your eyes and just noticing your breath. It's like the most simple, free, easy thing that you can do, but we don't do it enough. And there's so much science behind how meditation, sitting still, just not doing anything and closing your eyes and just paying attention to your breath. Like it's so easy, but there's a ton of studies of how it regulates our hormones, lowers blood pressure. Like it's incredible, the studies of what meditation does for your mental health and your emotions and also your physical body. So that's something we can always do. Keeping our liver clean. There's different products with Young Living that we can do to support our liver and different foods and cleanses and all kinds of stuff, right? Making sure that we're getting lots of enzyme-rich foods and supplementing because we don't get enough minerals from the foods we eat. Our soil has been heavily depleted over the years, and so we're not getting the same nutrients that we did from our food. So most people choose to get the extra that we need through supplements. And then avoiding anything, products that could be damaging. Like, that's why we're all using Young Living products instead of store-bought things that contain damaging chemicals. Okay, so we're going to talk about some supplements from Young Living that are really helpful for our hormones. So one that's really good is omegas. So we used to have Omega Gi's, and now we have green omega. I don't know, I can't remember the name of it, but our omega supplement that they now derive from algae is super powerful, and that's really great for our brain. And it kind of helps normalize like our heart, our brain, our joints, our eye health. Super great for hormone support, but also overall wellness. So next is Thyromin. I have some of the supplements out here to remind me, but Thyromin, very interesting. I learned this a few years after I joined Young Living, that if you take it at night, it helps with your thyroid. And if you take it in the morning, it helps support your adrenals. So kind of interesting. With any supplement or oil, I always recommend that you can read about it and you can think that it's like, on paper, it looks like something that you need. But one thing that you can do is ask your body if that's what you need. So there's a couple ways to do that. You can learn to self-muscle test, or you can have someone else muscle test you, and you can look into that. Kinesiology, it's very fascinating, basically asking your body what you need. And there's other ways to do that. You can also hold the supplement or oil or whatever, or you can even think about it. You don't even have to have it with you. Stay with me. And you can either close your eyes or leave your eyes open and ask yourself, is this in my highest and best, or would this bring me into balance? Does my body need this right now? And if it's a yes, your body will sway forward. And if it's a no, your body will sway backward. Try it if you haven't. Another way to do that is a breath test. I actually learned this from this amazing healer and chiropractor. He's this amazing older man that's been my chiropractor since I was a tiny kid. And he does a test where you use your breath. So you hold the supplement or oil or whatever it is, and you ask your body, if your body needs that right now to come into balance, and you take a breath. And if your breath is really expansive, like you just keep breathing, that's a yes. And if your breath is very shallow, that's your body saying like, no, that's not really going to be the best thing for me right now. So if you're overwhelmed with your supplements or your oils, or you're not sure what to use, you can ask your body. And even day to day, even though you want to be taking something regularly, if you're working on supporting a certain area of your health, sometimes at that day or that time, it might not be the best thing for you. You can do it with your food. You can do it with everything. So I kind of nerd out on that. You can also use a pendulum. If you've heard of using a pendulum, you can ask, what's a yes or what's a no. You could ask your pendulum, but you could also do a Zyto scan or an Itovi scan, which asks your body what it needs and then gives you where you're out of balance and what Young Living oils and supplements will help you. So back to these things that are nutritional supplements that Young Living has. Thyromin is wonderful. It has herbs and amino acids, and also glandular extracts that help bring the hormones back into balance, specifically related to thyroid function. It also has spearmint, peppermint, and myrtle oils, and it can help balance an overactive or an underactive thyroid. So that's something that you'll want in your repertoire if you have anything, if you're interested in supporting your thyroid. Then there's enzymes, right? So I mentioned in the beginning that Gary said that enzymes were kind of like one of the most misunderstood areas of health, but also one of the most important things. And that's why Young Living has so many different types of enzymes. So you can read about the different enzymes that we have and pick the one that you feel most drawn to. I like Essential Zyme and Essential Zyme 4 for me most of the time, and I alternate between the two, and you take them before or with your meals, and they're just great. So enzymes are awesome. You can drop in the comments below too if you take any of these, and which enzymes you like and why. Next is Mineral Essence, which I mentioned. So it comes in a dropper. It's a liquid, and I have learned several tricks to make it taste better if you don't like the taste of it. So I used to do like this combination with lemon and sulfurzyme and adding extra essential oils, but I think what works even better is Vitality Drops. There's something about the bergamot grapefruit Vitality Drops that like neutralizes the taste, and I can't taste it. I don't do 5 droppers at a time, which is the amount on the bottle. I do like 1 or 2 and then just drink it a couple times throughout the day. But if I add Vitality Drops, I can't taste it, and it's great. If you have any tricks with using mineral essence for people who are turned off by the taste or the smell, let us know. Minerals don't taste great usually, but they're super, super important because, like I was mentioning, we're depleted, and when we're under stress and all of that, we're depleting our mineral stores, and we're not getting the right minerals from our food anymore. Next is Super B, and Super B is great. Our Super B has selenium. It also has magnesium and zinc, which help for our bodies to be able to absorb it and assimilate it. It also has nutmeg oil in it. So the supplements that we have are so far superior than a lot of supplements out there because the oils help our bodies to assimilate what's in those supplements. And so we need all the help we can get, because typically when you take If you take some low quality supplement, it literally goes right through you. Oftentimes they're not absorbed into our body at all, and you're just like wasting your money. So we know that Young Living has super high quality ingredients, but they're also working on this like synergistic combination of herbs and minerals and vitamins with the oils so that our body can really get the most out of them. And I used to actually, like, before Young Living, I used to try to take B vitamins, and they always make me feel nauseous, and I would like burp up the taste of them, and it's like this awful experience. These Super B don't do that. I mean, most supplements I take with food to prevent like feeling a little nauseous. Most supplements are best taken with food. Follow the directions on the label. But Super B has a whole bunch of different B vitamins in it, but they're time released. So they're like gently released in your stomach. They're not all released at once, which can cause that like yucky feeling that you might have gotten in the past from B vitamins. Then there's Cortistop, which I found out about this supplement. I was on a retreat and I was just making conversation with someone. It was like one of the first retreats I went to in like 2015 or something. And I was meeting someone for the first time, and she said, what's your favorite Young Living product? And I was like, I don't know, what's yours? And she's like, Cortistop. Like, that's the best product from Young Living. And I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. I hadn't heard of it. And so after that, I was like, why? And so it balances cortisol production. It's great for adrenal health. So if anyone has had any type of fatigue or issues with adrenals, this might be a really helpful supplement for you. And when I'm taking it, you take it for 4 weeks, and then you give yourself a break. So we don't want to always be giving our body the same thing so that it relies on it, so that it recommends you take a break, but you take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. Maybe it's 2 months. I don't know. But you take 2 in the morning and 2 at night for whatever the period of time is, 1 month or 2 months, and then you take a break. But for anyone who's going through something really stressful, these are super, super helpful. I've noticed when I need them, I notice a huge shift. So I love Cortistop, and I wouldn't have known about it if I wouldn't have heard her say that. So that's what a fun thing about going to Young Living events and talking to people and hearing what their favorite products are and why. Then there's Endogize, which can be used by men or women actually, and it supports a healthy, balanced endocrine system. So it's herbs and oils. It might be something that would be helpful for you. There's Femigen, which is more specific to helping women when they're transitioning into menopause. And then ImmuPro is actually, we don't think of it, maybe most people might not think of it as a hormone supporting supplement, but it is. It's designed to help with sleep, but also energy and immune support. So ImmuPro are little chewable tablets. They have wolfberry and like strawberry, and they have a little bit of melatonin in there to help you sleep. So they're great taken like at bedtime. There's PD8020, which some people swear by, and that's a supplement that I have heard mostly women who are in menopause get the most benefit or change or support with from all different things. And then Ningxia Red, of course, right? Everyone should be drinking Ningxia. Maybe not everyone, but most people benefit from Ningxia, right? It's great for energy and immune support. And then there's also this body cream. So Prenolone Plus is something that has ylang ylang and clary sage, and it's just like a plant-derived topical hormone support, and it helps with balancing estrogen and progesterone. So that might be something that you want to try as well. And Progessence Plus, probably one of the most popular hormone-supporting oils. It's actually a serum. I put a roller on mine, and so I roll it on my neck or on my abdomen or my forearms. You can roll it in all different places on your body. It recommends that you rotate, but this helps so that we have enough progesterone, because right, most of us are deficient, and so we need to make sure we have more progesterone. Not necessarily, just to balance out that extreme estrogen. And other people, and I've done this in the past, it's not on the bottle, but it can be also dropped under the tongue. So some people choose to take it sublingually. But yeah, I keep a roller on it. I use it every single night before bed. And I think that it helps me stay balanced in a lot of ways, physically and emotionally. Lady Scleral, and you guys can chime in if you use any of these oils and see how they help you. But I have a friend who actually, Lady Scleral is the blend that she says helps her the most. And she says it helps her to be like less bitchy. If she uses this, she uses it as her perfume. And she's like, I go on and off using it, and I notice that when I am using it regularly, I am just like a happier person, like her emotions are more balanced. So it's a great blend just for hormone support for women, but it does kind of smell like perfume. So I actually use both my Progessence and Lady Scleral every single night before bed. That's kind of my routine. And then Dragon Time. So Dragon Time is such a genius blend with such a wonderful name to describe the emotions that go along with premenstrual stuff. And so this is great for anyone who does still get their period to use right before, the week before, when you start to feel like that emotional stuff creep up, or whatever you have during that time. And then you can also roll it over your abdomen for like cramps and just to kind of help support you during that time. So I have a roller on there because I like rolling it on. Another great place to apply hormone support oils is on the Vitaflex points on the feet. So our uterus is on the inside of our ankle, kind of under the ankle bone, that soft spot, and then the ovaries are on the outside. And so you can rub the inner and outer ankles with essential oils of your choice, along with kind of rubbing them over the, ovaries or uterus, on your abdomen. Let's see, there are lots of different single oils. I mean, a lot of these blends have a ton of these single oils in them, but you could also just use by themselves fennel, clary sage, geranium, helichrysum, cistus, jasmine, myrrh, lemongrass, goldenrod, nutmeg, and clove. And then more blends are, so Endoflex. Endoflex is great for thyroid support, so you can rub it right over your neck. That's a great place to rub it. And Endoflex is also an oil that is great for teens or like preteens, anyone going through kind of some emotional roller coaster stuff. Endoflex and Dragon Time can be really helpful. I make this blend that I call the Ant Flow blend. So it's a great combination that I actually learned from the desk reference or the pocket reference from Life Science publishers that we used to have. You can still find them on the internet. If you don't have one, you should definitely have one of those books. And there's now an app called Seeds of Thyme, THYME, which is basically all that information plus. And you should definitely have one or all of those to look up different symptoms and ailments and what oils and supplements you need for that. Because we're not really supposed to do that, right? We're not supposed to tell people exactly what they should do for what, but they have a resource guide and they can look up what they need. But anyway, this blend is cistus, helichrysum, and geranium and carrier oil. And I will roll that, and sometimes a little cypress I add to it too. I'll roll it right over my abdomen during my period, and I love that combo. A great blend for adrenal support, there's actually two. So Energy is great, and you can roll it straight over your adrenal glands on your lower back, kind of up a little from your lower back. Then there is a combination that you can make. Again, I got it from the desk reference. It's a combination of clove, nutmeg, and rosemary with carrier oil, and you can rub that over your adrenals. Like even when you just need a little energy boost, you could use Energy or this blend, or even Endoflex can help with energy. So you could rub Endoflex over your thyroid, and then you could put those back on your adrenals. And of course, you need to be practicing good like sleep habits and nutrition and all of that. You can't just expect the oils to take away all of our problems. But when you're having a hard day and you need a little boost of energy, this can be super helpful. And then along with all of the, I mentioned Lady Scleral already. It's like really helpful for balancing emotions and kind of promoting mental clarity and then supporting the endocrine system. So that's Lady Scleral, but also Joy. Joy is a great blend for that emotional support that can go along with hormone stuff. Often makes like our emotions, go up and down. And so it can be really uplifting to use Joy, and you can put it over your heart or use it like perfume, however you want to use it. So those are like primarily the stuff for women's hormones. And the last thing that I wanted to mention about that is I'm trying something new that I've been doing consistently, only for the last week, but I've been doing it consistently. There is a lot of information out there that getting sunlight into your eyes without glasses or contacts, first thing in the morning, like within an hour of sunrise, and last thing in the evening when the sun is setting, and how it can regulate your hormones and give you energy and reset your circadian rhythm and all these wonderful things. So if you want to go look up that and read more about it, you can. But I have been getting up every morning at 6 and going straight outside without contacts or glasses, and then going for a walk at sunset. I'm outside a lot, but I usually have contacts and sunglasses, and like I'm covering my eyes. But there's incredible science right now about what happens when you get that unfiltered light into your eyes and how it adjusts the different systems in your body, and particularly for women in perimenopause and menopause. So it's pretty fascinating. I've been feeling pretty good. I've been going to bed a little earlier, getting up a lot earlier, and I've had a ton of energy. I've been feeling amazing. I mean, it is summertime, so I'm outside, I'm surfing, I'm doing all these fun things, going to the beach, but I'm feeling really good, and I'm going to continue doing it. So that might be something you want to try. Real quick on the men's hormones, the men in our life, or any men that are watching, should definitely have some of these in their arsenal. So Idaho Blue Spruce and Goldenrod are wonderful oils for the men. There's lots of jokes out there about how these oils can be used, but there's also lots of great stories out there of how they're being used very successfully for all different types of hormone issues, and also prostate support. So men can definitely be taking prostate health. That's a really important supplement for a lot of men. And goldenrod, I mean, the name pretty much tells you what this oil can be helpful for. So some men use it topically, some take it internally. You can have it in the diffuser. Same with Idaho Blue Spruce, you could use them together. There's great info from Lucy Libido, if you do not have her book. This book is basically a book about hormones. So it's about libido and oils for the bedroom, but it's basically a hormone support book. She writes it in a very creative and fun way, and it does give great information about like specific recipes and specific fun ways to use the oils. But if you want your libido to be functioning properly, you have to have your hormones balanced, right? So there's tons of great information about there, and she talks about blue spruce and goldenrod a lot. Other single oils that are helpful for men and hormone balancing are rosemary, sage, fennel, geranium, clary sage, yarrow, sacred frankincense, and frankincense. And then there's also blends Mister and Shutron that can be helpful for men hormone balancing. And then the supplements, like I mentioned, Endogize, prostate health, and then Prenolone Plus. So some men actually benefit from this as well. It's not just a women's cream. So I know that was like a ton of information. Let me know if you have any questions. I wanted to show you the different books that I would recommend if you don't have them and you want to read more about hormones. So Taming the Dragon Within is a great one. It's How to Balance Women's Hormones with Essential Oils. Excellent book. It's a very short book, but it has great information in it. Inner Transformation with Essential Oils is a staple for anyone who's interested in any type of cleansing, whether it be liver or digestive. They talk about Young Living oils and products in this book, and also other practices to cleanse your organs. And it was written by two chiropractors, incredibly knowledgeable, great book. And then there is, I mentioned Lucy Libido, this one. So Ultimate Balance is another great book which talks about specific organs and glands, and it goes into a little bit of Chinese medicine about the time of day that you should support that organ, different reflex points on the feet, the meridians. So this is a cool book that I use a lot, and it has some great hormone information in there. And then for anyone who's pregnant or getting pregnant or going through, birth, this I mean, Gentle Babies by Deborah Rayburn is like the best book. Also using oils with babies. So pregnancy, labor, birth, the whole thing. And then also using with kids and little kids. So that's a great one. And then the pocket reference or desk reference. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if anybody has any questions, or drop any comments below too of anything that you do to support your hormones, because I feel like we learn best from listening to each other's stories and sharing information with each other. So thanks for being here. If you popped on late, there was a part 1 that got cut off because I don't know, something happened with my connection. So there was a couple minutes prior to this. And if you're coming back for the replay, you can just #replay. All right, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.